Hella. Two members of our singing ensemble here at Unity Saxy. Thank you, ladies. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Yes. So last night, Quentin and I watched the War of the Worlds, just released this year. It was released in 2000, so 25 years ago, with Tom Cruise as the star. This 2025 has Ice Cube as one of the stars. And it was also released in 1953, way before I was born. Not that long away, but a few years. So the movie was not highly rated at all by people who have watched it, and we were kind of wondering about that because we like action films. And then we got into the movie and we said, oh, that's why. So this latest version of the movie, you're watching, for 98% of the movie, you're watching people at their computers. You're looking at their faces as they are looking at their computers, and they're doing things and hacking into places and everything else. Nobody is with anybody except for two of the like 7 characters who are actually with everybody. And so all the action you may see from somebody's screen, somebody's monitor that's like this, and that's all the action you get. And I kind of wondered, other than the fact that it wasn't exciting and I was doing other things as I'm watching the movie, because it just wasn't holding me, and I was wondering why it stuck with me. I'm in a very deep place, and I think it's because the movie, like that, presented like that, for me is an indictment on how many of us have started to live. That we're not in the action anymore. We're not actually out amongst people doing things. That we are behind our devices and we're at our computers and separated from each other. Separated from each other. Separated from the real action of life. It's interesting, this topic came up in the women's group yesterday. And we realized that many of us are, we have angst and we have suffering because of this. You know, as humans, we are a tribal species, and we need each other at a very, very deep, elemental level. We need each other. We need to be around each other. We need to see each other. We need to look in each other's eyes. We need to touch each other. It's just who and what we are, and this new way of living has shifted us into something else. A lot of the looking back at the COVID debacle, scientists are now coming to the conclusion that the greatest harm was our isolation from each other. And the mental, emotional, and physical strain that wrought upon all of us, whether you were living alone and in your own place by yourself or not. It was the isolation that we suffered from. So much more than anything COVID did to us. That people probably died earlier because they were isolated. They died more quickly. And it's because that's who we are. We went against our grain. And no matter what you think about that, it's becoming clear how important we are to each other and how far astray we have gone against our basic needs. As I think about oneness, and we talked about that or explored that and affirmed that in meditation this morning, when I think about that and I think about our energy and who we are as divine beings, we are also one physically as well. Our energy, who we are, we need each other physically. There's a need for touch. I grew up in a family that was very, very touchy. Hugged all the time. There was always somebody squeezing the face if you're walking around. Yeah, I do. As much as I would roll my eyes, because if we had a family gathering, you might have your face squeezed like every 15, 20 minutes or something. I mean, you could walk in the room and somebody was happy to see you and you'd get a big hug and, oh my gosh, I love you. You're like, oh my God, I just got something to drink. I'm back, okay. But obviously that's in my DNA, and that's something that I need and love. But we all need and we all love it at some level, but we all didn't have it, depending on what kind of a family you grew up in. It's interesting how quickly we run from what we need, truly need and want, and know it, but are afraid to ask for it. Know it and afraid to celebrate it and to let ourselves have it unapologetically. I had a friend, and I use the term loosely, I think, who, we were having meetings and getting together on Zoom, and she does live in another area. She lives in Atlanta. And I know we're all busy and we all have things to do, and now we all have schedules, and there are ways that you can go online and you can make an appointment with somebody and never have to talk to them about the appointment. You just go and you look at their schedule and you pick a slot that's good for you. And so we wanted to talk again, and she said, well, just go in and check my schedule and pick a time slot. And I thought, nope. I'm not picking a time slot. Can't we just call each other? Can I think of you and just call and say hello? And if you're busy, you don't answer, and I leave a voicemail, and you can call me back when you have a minute, and we'll find each other when we both have time. I don't want to be in a time slot. Like, what is that? Really? I'm not a client. So I really didn't like that. That just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, and I thought, so not personal. And I want my friendships to be personal. I know. Search me. What's wrong with me? I don't know. I might need a support group for that or something. I don't know. But it just went against my grain, and it took me about a day or two before I realized why I felt that. That we've gotten so ingrained to how we do business, and that we have these tools to use to facilitate business and to help us do business better, but that we've let that seep into our lives too far. I love when my friends just call. And even if I can't answer, I love that their names, now, everything comes up, like their faces come up and everything on your phone, you know who they are. And I think, oh my God, she was thinking of me. I love when that happens. You don't need to fit into a time slot. I mean, I am busy, but I'm not that busy. And I don't want to ever be that busy. And I don't know that any of us should want to be that busy, that we can't connect with each other on a very personal level, because it feeds us. We were created this way by a loving God who knew that this would bring us joy and peace. Joy and peace. Why wouldn't we want more of that? And can we separate ourselves from our devices and our schedules and our need to get things done and just enjoy being with each other? That's why a lot of you come here. Because we get to be in real community, because we get to feel real family, because you come in the door and there's probably 20 people who want to give you a hug and say hello, and who smile at you and really look at you and really accept you, because we're not finding it out in the world. It's almost a crime now to touch each other, to put a hand on a shoulder or an arm, or to walk by somebody, put your hand on their back. So we have to rein ourselves in now when we're out in the larger community. And they don't know that we're huggy people. I think it might be one of our greatest crimes of humanity right now. There is no difference between our humanity and our divinity. It's all one thing. We used to talk about it like it was two separate things, but it's all one thing. And so the fact that we are loved means that we have a real, deep need to love and be loved. Emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. With abandon. With abandon. Love is what we are. And yet, in the larger community, it's like we have to shut that down because we've begun to, the narrative is there that that's better, that that's safer. Nothing's safe. All of life is a risk. And the only safety I know is the safety I have within myself, that safety that is God, that lets me know that I can handle whatever comes down my path. That's my safety. Whenever you step outside of your door, heck, you can step outside of your door and fall down the stairs. You can be in your house and something can come in your house or come through your front door. You hear stories of people where cars come through their front door, through a window, or a plane is dropped, or part of a plane has dropped. So you're not even safe in your house. Or a tornado sweeps through, or a hurricane. You're sitting in your bathtub with a mattress over you and a helmet on. It's not safe, even in the house. This is what's safe. And there's safety, I believe, in love. Even though it's always a risk because, we're out here expressing as humans, and we all got our stuff and we all got our baggage, and there's some of us that are not in the right place and don't know our divinity, and so we're perpetrating crimes, and sometimes you can't be loving with everybody. We do know that. But what I know now is that I can rely on my intuition, the messages that Spirit is giving me all the time in every single moment to let me know who's safe and who's not. That's why you have to trust ourselves. So when the hair goes up on the back of your neck and you're in somebody's space, you go, oh, hi. There are people I know that I give a wide berth because I don't think they're safe and that my hair does go, that creep factor comes up, you go, ooh, ooh. And you wave from afar. So I still love and respect them as another divine being, but I'm way over here as I love and respect you as a divine human being. But I know in your humanity, sometimes you creep me out. And it's probably not safe because I'm listening to my intuition. That's the loving God always protecting us and letting us know that hair that goes up on the back of your neck, that's God whispering. Don't do that. Back away. Danger, Will Robinson. Oh, God, how old am I? Yeah, how old are we? Oh, everybody got that joke. Okay. Love is a wonderful thing in all its iterations, whether it's between intimate partners or friendships, family. It's all wonderful. I don't know, if somebody said, or was it a song, ain't love grand? It is. if we let ourselves be it and express it, and we know that that love comes as God, as us, into the world. Love is grand. And how many times do we let ourselves not have it or welcome it in from wherever it comes from? And I've had loving relationships come from places I didn't expect. And I've been disappointed in loving relationships that I didn't expect. And then I know, oh, that's not so loving. I'm going to have to love this person from afar. Or they're in a different category now in my life. But I still love and respect them as a divine being. But I have boundaries. But I love them as I love all of humanity. How much more could we be love and express love in our lives? How much more could we open our arms to love, whether it's physically or emotionally? How many times do we send love to all the people in our lives, no matter what those relationships look like in expression? Yesterday, we talked about the relationships that the people were estranged from. And I shared that I wouldn't use the word estranged for a long time because I couldn't bear it to affirm that that's really what my relationship was with my brother at the time. Just didn't want to accept that I was estranged from him. Didn't mean I didn't love him, but man, did we have our stuff. We had our stuff. We had deep stuff together. And we ended up healing it, but I had to look at what that was. I had to look at how I was showing up, thinking I was showing up as love, but when I really faced it, when I really opened my eyes, my divine eyes, I had to accept the fact that I was not showing up as love, not unconditional love. I had deep, deep, deep conditions and expectations of my brother that I didn't have of myself at the time because I thought I was so evolved. But when I looked at it, I wasn't. And that the love that I expressed to him was always protected. It was full of self-righteousness, had all kinds of strings attached to it. And then I got real with myself. And the first time I came at him as unconditional love, he responded to me in a text. Before that, he always ignored me. Or he would get back to me like a month or two later. Oh, did you text? Yeah. If you would just reach back out like you're supposed to reach back out, we wouldn't have a problem. But energy is real. Consciousness is real. Every time I texted him with an ulterior motive, he did not respond. So when I finally got real with myself and I reached out to him with unconditional love all over me and through me, and in that message, I got a response from him in 20 minutes. And he said, yes, I'd love to talk with you. And then I shared yesterday that he and I had about 3 or 4 5-hour talks on the phone. And we confessed all the stories we had made up about each other. Most of the stuff that was separating us were things we had invented. All the stories I had about him, all the stories he had about me, and we were all out there with what that was. And then we let it go. We forgave ourselves and each other. They were hard conversations. He wept, I wept. But we kept going because I still wanted him in my life and he wanted me. But neither one of us would admit it. Neither one of us. For 15 years, Yeah. Yeah, that was hard. And that was after both my parents were gone and our sister. So it was just him and me. And I assumed that because the others were gone, that all of a sudden our relationship would flourish. Did not happen. Did not happen. Didn't happen at all. Neither one of us changed. Neither one of us softened our hearts. Neither one of us got real about who we were until later. So all that love, all those years, 15 years, 15 years. It's an eternity, an eternity. And now I'm thankful that that is healed, and healed in a way that I could not have imagined. That's the thing. I always say this. When you open the door to Spirit, when you show up as love, when you are truly open and ready for transformation that is born of the divine and divine wisdom and intelligence, things will happen in your lives that you cannot imagine, because we became close in a way that I just didn't anticipate. Did not anticipate. I thought we would at least start calling each other and talk. It is so much more than that now. He is truly my brother now. In all respects, in all respects. Love always requires us to open our arms, metaphorically, physically, even sometimes. And to do it from that secret place of the Most High, this place that is us, that essence of us that is divine love, that is truly unconditional, where we fully accept each other. Despite what we believe, how we vote, what we do, what we say, what we've said, what we've done, what we haven't done, what we've perpetrated, how we've been victimized, because divine love can heal all of that, all of that, all of that, if we're willing to open our arms to it and to be that. And we can't just expect the other person to come. And for those of us that are running around thinking that we're evolved and that, we believe all this stuff about love and peace, we're the ones who have to show up first. I don't know, maybe my brother would have come to me later and called me. I don't know what could have happened. But at some point, I thought, I don't want to go another 15 years like this. This is breaking my heart. Heartbroken. Heartbroken. I've already lost both my parents and my sister. Me and him, the only two left in my family of origin. I thought, man, I don't want to do this any longer. So I need to show up. I need to, my horse was so high. Oof. Yeah, I couldn't just jump off the horse. That's how high that horse was. I had to get a helicopter, come down. That's how high that horse was. Oof. I scare myself sometimes with the baggage I have and the way I delude myself into thinking I got this all together. We got to get real. If you want the real in life, if you want to come out from behind the screen of life and be fully in the action, then we got to be real with ourselves about where we are and how we're showing up. And am I truly love? And yes, the love is out there. But again, if we're the ones who think we know, we're the ones who have to show up. We're the ones who have to hold the high watch. We're the ones who have to know that despite what's going on, there is love everywhere, overflowing, ready for us to just open our arms and our minds to. We're the ones who have to know. We're the ones who have to do. That's one of our unity principles, that you just can't know the truth. You have to live the truth. So stop reading the book, stop listening to the podcast, stop going on YouTube, Stop listening to all the people that have all the advice. There's so many people that got advice about how we're supposed to live when we have this here. Divine wisdom, intelligence. And if you don't know how to make inroads into what's not happening with love in your life, then we ask divine wisdom. What do you want me to do? What do I do now? How do I break the estrangement? How do I turn this relationship around? How can I be love in this instance? Because I'm sure not feeling it. Love's not just what we feel, it's what we do. It's who we are. It's how we live. Ask divine wisdom. It's interesting how I ended up calling my brother. So I have some of my father's prayer books, and stuck in one of his prayer books was a letter my brother wrote to him shortly before my father died. Now, I have had that prayer book since my father died in 2009. It was sitting in my bedroom on a shelf for years. And I've been in that book and looked at it because my father makes notes in the margin things. I love seeing his handwriting. It's another thing we've lost with this digital world. I love seeing my loved ones' handwritings and notes that they've given me over the decades. So some days I would just go in and flip the pages and look at his handwriting and see what he wrote. And sometimes he will have written a note that's about me, that he prayed for me about something. And all of that would just fill my heart and let me have my father again for a couple of minutes. That letter was stuck in there, and then one day I took it out and I was like, oh, what's this? It's been sitting there for years. And I read that letter. And I called my brother. And I said, what was that like to write that letter and knowing your relationship with Dad? What was that like for you when he passed away? 2 weeks later after he sent that letter. And that's what he responded to. The divine must have done that. There was a part of me that led me to that letter that had been sitting in my bedroom for years. In that moment, that made me read it, and to soften my heart. I needed that letter to soften my heart. Because I sat there and I read it probably 3 or 4 times, and I cried reading it, knowing that my father died 2 weeks later. I know what it was like for me, but I didn't know what it was like for him. My soul led me to that letter at the time. And so a prayer was answered, a prayer that I prayed. How do I reach my brother? How do we come back together? I need my brother. But couldn't tell my brother I needed him because I got too much stuff. And it was a letter that cracked through the stuff. And it was my need for love from my brother that made me call him. And that softened his heart because of how I showed up. And then he called me back. And then the journey to real love expression between the two of us changed. Miracles can happen. And they can happen all the time, but we have to be open. We have to be ready for love in another level of expression for ourselves and for whoever else in our lives, but especially for us. Especially for us. You deserve all the love in the world, and there's an infinite supply of it. But we got to be willing to open the arms up and open our minds up. And to know that it's possible. That in a world of infinite possibilities, there is a healing for love in every single one of your lives right now. I don't care how long you've been estranged. I don't care how long it's been. I don't care how deep the hurt is. In a world of infinite possibilities, there is a love, there is an action of love for you and whoever else right now. Right now. Right now. Doesn't matter how much water's gone over the bridge. Doesn't even matter if there's no bridge. Because a lot of us have situations where the bridge got washed out, right? A lot of water over that bridge. The bridge just said, all right, I'm tapping out. Y'all got too much stuff. Spirit has the bridge. Spirit is the bridge. Love is the bridge. Unconditional, divine love is the bridge. But you got to be ready for it. And we might have to drop some stuff, and you might have to get off your high horse. I don't know. You might have a horse. It might be the other person with the horse. It may not be you. Or maybe we're just closed. Maybe we're just closed. Oh, gosh, I've been closed to a lot of love in my life because of the fear. Possibility of betrayal. Stuff happens, right? You open yourself up, we get smacked in the face, stabbed in the heart, and stabbed in the back. All in the same day. Right? You feel the first? And you're like, oh, it's in my back too. I've had betrayals that it took me months to get over. To heal and then forgive. And like that affirmation, give ourselves mercy and forgiveness. And mercy and forgiveness for the other person. All in the name of love. All in the name of love. How much love do we want? How much love do you want? You are it already. Infinite love already. But we got to be willing to crack it open so that Spirit can let it overflow into our lives and create the miracle that you're waiting for. It only takes one step. You know, I talk about that all the time. It only takes you to have one step at a time. So my first step was go crack that prayer book open. Second step, read that letter. Third step, flag down that helicopter so you can get off that high horse. Step 4, get real with yourself. You're not that evolved and enlightened, girlfriend. Forgive yourself. Give yourself mercy. Soften your heart and make the call. All one step at a time. It didn't happen in an instant. It happened over a day. It happened with some tears. But it happened. But it happened. And now it's erased the 15 years. We don't care about the 15 years anymore. It's like the time collapsed as soon as we softened our hearts. How much love can you stand? Are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to open your arms? Are you willing to take the risk? Because even if my brother had not responded, I still believe my heart would have been healed. Because I softened. And I would have been, all of that, even though it was the love of my brother I wanted, it opened me up to love in all areas of my life. Not just for him. In all areas. It softened me forever. It changed me forever. I became more loving. Forever. What's waiting on you? I don't know what it is. You know what it is. What do you need to forgive? What do you need to open to? How much grace do you need to extend to yourself in this moment so that you can have that love? Grace and mercy and forgiveness is a first step. It's a first step. Let's take this in a meditation. We're all learning to be more loving. Unconditional loving. With what relationship do you need to soften? Maybe it's the relationship with yourself first, to give yourself mercy and forgiveness for something done or not done, for a judgment of yourself. How much do you love and accept yourself, no matter what has gone on? No matter how deeply you've been hurt, or how deeply you may have hurt someone else. You are love and always have been love. Who is it? Or is it a group of people? Is it a race of peoples that you have judgments about? Is it about politics, religion, family disagreements? Is it someone you work with? That someone from deep in your past? Or did it just happen yesterday? Is it from your parents, grandparents, children, a sibling? Who might you need to extend mercy and forgiveness after you have extended it to yourself? What transgression, whether it is yours or someone else's, has separated you from love? And can you just crack open the door just a bit to let divine wisdom in to help you heal it? The road may not be easy, but you will not be alone. For the divine is always expressing in and as us, ready for us, waiting for us to harness it and to do its work for you and with you and as you. Will give you everything you need to be love. Infinite love. And to pour out blessings upon you and everyone else involved in this situation. You are always loved, no matter how deeply you express it. Whether you say yes or no, whether your heart softens or not, you are always love, and you will always be love. And love is always waiting for you. to claim it and express it, to celebrate it, to heal you and move you toward your good with a capital G. Miracles are waiting to happen. But we must say yes first. We must accept the eternal invitation to love, and to love deeply and unapologetically, with joyous abandon, in a world crying for love. Each of us can be that love. Your heart can be healed. Divine love can erase all the hurt, the betrayal, it can collapse it in an instant. God is love, and so are you. And no matter what needs to be healed, it can be healed. In a world of infinite possibilities, there is healing for you. So in this moment, we say yes and thank you for love. We open our arms wide. We open our hearts completely, surrendering to unconditional love. Surrender to love. Surrender as love. Know that you are love. Every cell of your body is love. God's space, God's substance, God energy. Your consciousness is first and foremost love. We have only to recognize it and say yes to it and celebrate it and ask it, how can I be love now? How can I be love now? And love will answer. Love shall answer. And so it is, and so it shall be. Amen.